Oh, I know I have taken forever and ever and ever to get back to doing this. I'm so sorry. I took a sabbatical because I finished up writing my novel called Tide, which is a retelling of The Little Mermaid. I finished up, typing it. It is still going on Patreon, by the way. It will keep going on Patreon until August, and people are loving it so far. In my series, there is a profession called curse breaking. You're a curse breaker. And in this story, there is a curse breaker named Galahad Stormcrane. And he goes to this island kingdom. There's supposed to be a guardian of a seal that protects the whole realm. And that guardian has disappeared. So his job is to find out what happened to this guardian of the seal. And he finds this girl on a beach. She can't talk. And through his experience and his brilliance, he deduces and finds out that she is actually a mermaid and the guardian of the seal, that she has made a terrible deal with a sea witch so that she can marry the prince of this kingdom. So now this cursebreaker, Galahad, has to figure out how to get this prince to fall in love with this girl who can't talk. And it's quite a conundrum because, of course, the sea witch is going to try to get in and involve herself in things and trip everything up. So the place is like, it would sort of remind you of like Poldark, if you've seen that. It's like the Cornish landscape. That's what it feels like, what it was inspired by. It's a very romantic, very atmospheric story. So you should give it a read. It's on Patreon. Go over there, join Patreon, join the fun like the rest of us. Get on Patreon and read it. After I typed the end on that, because I was almost crippled. It was like Quasimodo sitting here in my little study typing like this, and I was finally like, it was true. I was literally in pain. My wrists, my fingers, everything was hurting, and I was scared of giving myself carpal tunnel because I finished typing this novel in under 2 months. Which was fine, because there was nothing to do outside anyway. It was just icky and gross and cold outside, so might as well be writing a story, right? But yeah, I had to recover. And I took time to do, like, fun stuff, like embroidering and sewing and drawing and planning my garden and walking. You know, like human things, like being a human. But sadly, that all means that I neglected you. So I'm sorry. So I had planned like 3 of these videos for 3 different things, but I don't think it's gonna take that much. So I'm just gonna go and tell you about the things that were supposed to be in these 3 episodes, and all in one. So I think it'll be just more efficient because I don't think there's enough material to go for 3 episodes. So when you finish your first novel, the very first thing that usually people think is it good enough to be published? Well, that's a stupid question nowadays. It really is. I don't know. I don't think it was a stupid question back when Charles Dickens was writing, back when, you know, Thomas Jefferson was alive, and we had like awesome writer guys like that. But nowadays, stuff like 50 Shades of Grey gets published. And any stupid thing that a celebrity decides to type up gets published just because they're famous. So it really doesn't matter. Good enough, that's doesn't matter. What matters is, do I feel good with it? Do I feel like I did my utmost, my best? And is it cleaned up grammatically? Does it make sense? Have you had somebody read it, or you yourself have read it for punctuation, grammar, everything, that it looks good? And do you think that you would like to share it with someone else? Is it a story that other people would enjoy, that you have that urging to share with people? So that's all that matters. So if you've got those 3 things down, then publish the stupid thing. I said stupid. I didn't mean stupid. It's not stupid. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Just that whole keep it simple stupid thing. That's what I mean. The next thing is whether or not to try to traditionally publish something or to self-publish it. Now, there are pros and cons to both. Traditional publishing, obviously what you get is you get hooked in with a major publishing house, and they do all the advertising for you, and they put you in all the bookstores, and they usually give you an advance. So you have a few $1,000 that they give you in advance of selling the copies of your books. Self-publishing, the pros are you have complete control over everything. You don't have to answer to an editor who might make you change the plot, change your characters' names, change the title. They might not give you say over what the cover looks like, all kinds of stuff like that. You can publish when you want. You can communicate directly with your fans. You are in charge. You are driving the ship. And also nowadays, it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to pay for anything in order to self-publish your book. Now, the cons for traditionally publishing. It's very, very, very hard. I have found it impossible. I have sent, because nowadays, in the old days, we would watch a movie like Anne of Green Gables, or you watch Little House on the Prairie and those episodes where she was trying to get her book published, and you actually like talk to the publishing company. Like those girls send off like 2 letters to a publishing company, and then the publishing company's like, "This is the greatest thing ever. Give it to me. We'll publish it." That's totally fiction. That is not realistic at all. Nobody talks to the publishing company directly anymore. You have to have an agent, and the agent talks to the publishing company for you. Well, so then you have to court the agents. And to do that, you have to write a query letter for your work, and it sometimes, well, a normal query letter is only about a paragraph long. You send it off to these agents, and they don't get back with you. And they don't get back with you. And they don't get back with you for months. If they do get back with you, most of the time, it's a form letter that says, "Dear author, this is not what we are looking for at the time. Best of luck in your writing endeavors." Can you tell I've gotten a few of those? That's literally word for word what they say. So they didn't even look at your stuff. They threw it in the trash. A lot of times, agents will say they will want something specific, not just the query letter. Maybe they'll want a query letter, a summary, and the first chapter. Maybe they'll want just a summary and the first 5 chapters. Maybe they want just the query letter. Maybe they want a page telling about your experiences. Like, they all have like this menu of stuff that they like personally. So it's not like you can be efficient and send out your letter to a bunch of agents. A lot of them are all different. So it eats up a great deal of time, and they don't look at your stuff. Even if you go and look at, I'll show you their profile stuff in a minute, but even if your story fulfills everything that they say they're looking for, more than likely they will not look at your stuff. I don't know why, except for I think that it's in the advent of this digital age when everybody has access to email, that they just get bombarded with bazillions of these every day, and they're looking for love at first sight. You like the next Harry Potter right here contained in this little paragraph, and they'll just feel like lightning has struck them, and that's what they need to go with. So yeah, traditional publishing is great. If you can get an agent, if you can somehow miraculously convince an agent to take you on and to send you out to these different publishers, then yeah, that's great for this particular book. That doesn't guarantee that your agent's going to want you for your next book, or the publisher's going to want you for your next book. Anything. There's lots of people who are published that way and then they self-publish themselves later. But yeah, if you would like to spend perhaps years of your life sending letters to agents over this same book, And can you tell I'm biased against this? Because I've done it. Like, I've done it a lot. And I've formed a crummy opinion of this. But if you want to do it, give it a shot. Do it. I'll give you a link to this place called agentquery.com. And you can go there and look at all these agents and what they like. Fiction, nonfiction, young adult fiction, whatever. You can narrow it down and find the agents that you think would fit your project, and you can write to them to your heart's content, and maybe one of them will pick you up. Okay, now there are cons, of course, also to self-publishing, meaning you don't have the massive publicity platform that the huge publishing companies already have. You have to do the work. When you publish yourself, you have to format your own book. You have to format your own cover. You're in charge of how everything looks. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Being in charge means you're in charge. And if it looks like crap, that's your fault. So you're in charge of that, and you have to go out and make connections yourself. Your friends, your family, your Facebook followers, anybody like that, you have to make it go on your own with very little money. I mean, if you have money, then you can launch advertising campaigns yourself. You can do tons of stuff if you have money. Go for it. Make up posters. Do huge book signings. Do events. Do charity things. Do giveaways. Great. If you have thousands of dollars laying around, do it. Because that's what the big publishing companies would do. If you don't, then you're going to need to mobilize the people that you have gathered around you while you have been writing stuff, other stuff. Your family, your friends. Hopefully, as a writer, that the first novel you consider publishing is not the first thing you've written and posted anywhere. Hopefully, you've been writing you've been writing fan fiction, you've been writing short fictions, you've been writing various things, posting them online and getting some people who like your stuff and are reading it so that you can talk to them and maybe recruit them to come and support you so that you can keep writing stuff. Because I'm not in the category of I have thousands of dollars to throw at marketing. I'm in the other category. I'm right with you. And it's tough. It's tough. Nothing about this is easy. You have to keep going with it and keep being inventive. Think of as many things as you can to get the word out about your stuff. So both of them are hard roads. You just have to probably give them both a try. You know, like everybody has to try that traditional publishing route first just to see for themselves. So they have to do that, but it's good now that there is an option that you can self-publish. You don't just hit a wall and then vanish into obscurity. You can publish yourself now. So from what I've learned, a query letter needs to be essentially the back of the book. You know, so go around and read backs of books. See how they word that out. That's what you need to do with your story. You need to hook somebody, just grab them at the face with that query letter. Have them feel something from right away, feel the tension and the atmosphere of your story. And also you need to tell them at the end how many words it is long and that the whole manuscript is available for them to read if they request it. And make sure to have your contact information there for them. Yeah, because if they want you, then they want you and they want to be able to easily get a hold of you. You also need to type up a summary of your novel. And this should not be very long. It should be kind of point by point. At the longest, 2 pages. But keep it as short as you can. Just here's what the main things are that happen. Just like you would, so for practice, do it for one of your favorite movies. And type it out like that. And then go, oh, okay, that's what it needs to look like. And so you have to have that ready because a lot of agents will want that. I will put the link to agentquery.com below here so that you can use that and scope out some of those agents and give them a try if you really want to. I mean, go for it. Go for it. You might land a big one right away. Just third person you send a letter to, they'll sign you up and you'll be the next New York Times bestseller, whatever. I don't know. You never know. So yeah, give it a try. See what happens. Meantime, this writer right here would love your support on Patreon because I have such cool stories planned. I have this whole long lineup of really cool fairy tale retellings. Some of them include King Arthur, Robin Hood, Snow White and Rose Red, Rumpelstiltskin. These are all retellings that are totally turned on their head and they have at least 2 twists in them, and you will love them. So go on over there to Patreon. I will put the link down there. Also, I look forward to having your support. So see you next time. Bye.